And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to see everyone here. Cohagen, Halster, Ravi. It's good to see everyone. It is time for the newest chapter of One Piece. Now, let's go ahead and get this shindig started, shall we? Yo, peoples! Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another One Piece chapter reaction and review. Last we left out on Mars and the Gorosei, well, specifically Mars, we see the brain of Vegapunk. And Mars tries to disrupt the transponder snail that he thinks is allowing the message to broadcast, but it turns out that Vegapunk punked them all, and the message is still broadcasting, with the end of the chapter signifying that Vegapunk says that what I'm about to tell you may seem silly, it may seem crazy, but the world as we know it will sink into the sea. And then we went on break for Golden Week. And it appears that we're going on another break after this chapter. So, chapter 1114, The Wings of Icarus. And we continue with Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage, Ogre Child Yamato's Golden Harvest Surrogate Pilgrimage Volume 4. Go enshrine this sword at Hakumai's Senma Shrine in Yasuie's stead. That is your surrogate pilgrimage. As Yamato is beginning his adventure, pretty much pilgrimage throughout all the regions of Wano, Kinemon is telling Yamato to take this sword, which I believe belonged to Yasuie, and put it at Hakumai's Senma Shrine. So, yeah, Yamato's having a great adventure. So, we get to Navy HQ! New world! The world will sink under the sea? Dr. Vegapunk, what are you talking about? And Akainu is just listening in. Then we get to Mocktown, and everyone's laughing. Everyone's laughing. Now that's funny. So he decides when he dies, he's gonna go out throwing the world into chaos? How exactly is the entire world gonna sink underwater, man? Then we cut to Water 7. Around here, we believe him. But the whole world? He's not talking about high and low tides, is he? Then we have, crap, I forgot his name. It's the dude with the rope. It's not Iceberg, it's the dude with the rope. Polly! We get Polly, who's just listening in. Then we get to Impel Down. And who do we see laughing his behind off deep in Impel Down? Oh, that's rich. What if seawater floods down into Impel Down? Isn't it your job to ensure the safety of the prisoners under your care, Magellan? What did I just say? What did I just say? Impel Down is built to be, fastened to the sea, but not submersible. Doflamingo's bringing up what I brought up during my reflections and during my reaction of the last chapter. But Doflamingo is just laughing at this knowledge. Then we get Magellan, who we haven't seen speak in the series in a long time. And he's outside of Doflamingo's jail cell going, "That 1 meter rise the other day had the prison panicking. How many meters does it take to sink the whole world? Most cities in the world will be wiped out with an extra 5 meters of water. What do you think? Should we all move to much higher ground?" He's referencing Marijois and the Red Line, isn't he? Because that's going to be the only place that's safe. That and Water 7 and Zunisha, Zoe, and Sky Islands. But, he's clearly referencing the Holy Land of Marijois. Then we cut to Ryugu Kingdom, Fishman Island. And it's Shirahoshi and pretty much everyone else talking to Neptune.
"Father, what is going to happen?"
It just sounds so absurd. Future Island Egghead. And we have all the Navy outside. "What is he talking about? This is coming from the world's greatest scientist. He can wreak havoc on the world even with a lie. This is utter nonsense, Dr. Vegapunk." And then it cuts to the Gorosei as they all get this telepathic thought going,
Destroy the transmission transponder, Snail. In fact, destroy any life form you can hear. Everything else is secondary.
They really do not want Vegapunk to continue this message. Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Nasjuro, and Jupiter, they are all in agreement that they need to destroy every living thing that's on this island just to stop this message. Then we get York going,
How much are you going to tell them, Stella?
and then we have Vegapunk. Hallelujah! We get Vegapunk going,
Now, speaking of the near future for me, assuming that the sensors I built are functioning correctly, in the days after I record this message, there should be a most remarkable earthquake that strikes the entire planet.
and we are cutting to, this is clearly in Alabasta right now. Huh? And then we have Smoothie. Yo, it's Smoothie! It's Smoothie! Is he talking about the earthquake from today? But Vegapunk's already dead, supposedly.
As a result of that, the sea should rise about 1 meter around the world, rendering some islands uninhabitable.
Huh? Was that a prophecy?
Beaches around the world will be lost for good.
Then we have the dude from the, I forget his name, from the Long Island. He's going, and he's just listening in. We're cutting to everybody.
If I am wrong in this prediction, feel free to disregard the rest of this message.
And then it cuts to people on Island Fullaled, and we see Kuzan. After, the whole fight he had with Garp, he's covered in bandages. Bandages on his face, his whole chest is in bandage. And then we got a pirate on Island Fullaled going, How? That's freaky, man! He totally nailed it!
If this has happened, however, you should heed my words very carefully. This particular earthquake is not exactly what I would call a natural phenomenon.
And then we get screams as Saturn is up there. Saturn is up top going, Vegapunk, don't you dare say another word! You idiot, this is a recorded message, he can't hear you. But we have Lilith, we have Brook, we have Usopp, we have Chopper, and Zeus all defending Nami. Well, Nami's fighting too. The only one who isn't fighting is Robin, and Chopper is protecting her.
Go away!
Ah! In my own way, I only ever hoped for peace.
And then it cuts to Robin, who's using her powers to catch everyone in like her hand spider net. And then we cut to Saturn, who's doing his best to try and squash Chopper. He's managing to trample on Chopper, even though Chopper is using his guard point right now. And then it cuts to Saturn, who's, constantly regenerating from the damage that's being done to him, as he's just trying to rush past him going, Be gone! And it cuts to Vegapunk continuing going,
But this was the root of my first sin.
And then we have telepathic messages going, What about the power plant, Mars?
Not yet.
That chamber must not be harmed above all else. I will go. And then it cuts to Saturn, who is just destroying everything in his path.
I dreamt of a source of endless eternal energy, and in my desire to push the world forward into the future.
And Saturn bursts into the room. Saturn bursts into a room. Oh, the mother flame.
I flew too close to the sun.
And Saturn is back to its normal human state. And we see this gigantic container, like this giant vat. S-108, Mother Flame. And in this thing, it is the weirdest thing. It's filled with a fluid, but in the center of it is an actual flame submerged in water. Like, it's a flame submerged in water. And then Saturn is getting, it's a very big panel. Saturn is getting this message of, destroy every last sign of life in the lab. And then Vegapunk goes,
allow me to explain.
It's no good! That didn't work! As it shows the giant robot still moving throughout the island.
Just what it is. Allow me to explain just what it is.
And then the Navy's going, we can't even make that thing
So much as flinch!
And then it cuts to Dorian Bragi and Luffy as they're running from Warcury, who apparently can just straight up breathe fire.
Allow me to explain just what it is that is happening to our world.
And Luffy is laughing while Dorian Bragi are getting set on fire by Warcury.
Yo, that's hot! Hurry before we get roasted alive!
And then Vegapunk goes on. Oh! Oh!
From about 900 years ago to 800 years ago, a period of a century, there is a span of history that is completely and entirely blank.
What are you doing, Navy? Make him stop talking! And this is all the Celestial Dragons. This is all the Celestial Dragons who are listening to Vegapunk.
We call this the Void Century, because all records from this time were eliminated. The only means to know this lost piece of history.
Wow, he's going there. Lord Jesus, be still my beating heart. Vegapunk, are you about to do it? Are you about to do it? Vegapunk, you mad lad, are you about to do it?
The only means to know this lost piece of history.
And the Celestial Dragons are still screaming, an execution is too good for him. Bring me his body. I'll mutilate the corpse. And then it cuts to, what is her name? Charlia? Saint Charlia? She's going,
Void Sentry? What is that?
so she doesn't even know. Then it cuts to another location as Vegapunk continues.
The only means to know this lost piece of history is to find a message from the past in the form of poneglyphs scattered across the world.
And we have this unknown figure sitting next to a well-known figure. And this well-known figure just simply goes, it's all! And he's just listening in.
Is to find a message from the past in the form of poneglyphs scattered across the world and decipher its contents.
And then we cut to Orange Town in the East Blue. It cuts to Orange Town in the East Blue. Well, and it cuts, yo! Oh, this kid with the mayor from Orange Town, you know, the town that Buggy had taken over. He's sitting there with the Chocho, and this child is with him, going,
Well, long ago, there were 20 kings who got together, and they created the world. Doesn't that man know that?
What do you think, Chocho? Roof. However, the world government has made it a crime of the highest order to decipher the message of the poneglyphs. And despite being a member of the government myself, I broke that law. That was my second sin.
wow. And we get Marigold and all these, well, not Marigold, but we get all of the Kuja. They're listening in on this too.
Through the sheer tenacity of a group of excellent archaeologists, I inherited some texts and a number of poneglyphs, which I have deciphered.
And this cuts to the rest of the Straw Hats on the top of the lava phase as Brook is going, Zoro! Jinbei!
And continued studying to the best of my ability. I regret none of this. History, you see, tells a story.
And then we see something happening to the clouds up on the lava phase.
Wait, something moved. Look! Are the clouds extending outwards?
Wow. Wow, the lava phase clouds are extending outwards. So when Edison said he would make sure we touched down on water, did he mean...
Oh, good point. If the clouds stretch farther out, we could reach the sea.
So that's Edison's plan. He made it so that the clouds of the lava phase would stretch outward so they could be able to drop off of the clouds and then get to the ocean. And it cuts to Edison as he's huffing and puffing and apparently manipulated the machine that can manipulate the clouds, going,
Now get off this island, Straw Hats. And don't let the world government lay a finger on ya!
In other words, what I know is an incomplete story of that 100-year void. It would be dishonest to fill the blanks with my own speculation, so I will leave you only with the verified truth.
And there's just so much going on. And then it cuts to Dory. Dory, who goes,
Hey, Straw Hat, don't push your luck! The main character of this story was born into a kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization 900 years ago.
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's back, and mind you, he's back in his Gear 5 state. When he was running with Dorian Broggy while Workyu was trying to set the whole island on fire, he went back into being in his Gear 5 state. And he proceeds to punch Workyu directly in the face. This one'll hurt ya!
Like the sun god Nika spoken of in Elbaf legend, he fought with a body that stretched and contracted. His name was Joy Boy.
And then it cuts to Luffy, who's once again, his hand is being set on fire after punching Workyu, while Dorian Broggies just start laughing at Luffy.
Ka ba 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 ba! Ga. Hey, stop trying to make us laugh! And he was the very first man on this sea to be called a pirate.
Vegapunk is letting all this knowledge out. Bruh, Joy Boy came from the advanced... Oh my god! Joy Boy's the first pirate. Joy Boy was the first pirate. That to be continued. 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 What? 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 I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Tonjit. That's his name, Tonjit. Thank you, Ozzy. Thank you, everybody. Bruh. What you mean? What do you mean? And we going on break after this? That's a cliffhanger. That's a cliffhanger. Here's the thing. One of my fears was that the Gorosei would cut off the transmission before anything of note would get out. And here we have the name Joy Boy. Here we have the sun god Nika. Here we have the 900-year void, the Void Century. Here we have the ancient civilization. Oh, put on blast for the whole world! They're too late. That knowledge is already out. It's out there. The name Nika is out there. Sun God Nika's name is out there. The Void Century, knowledge of the Void Century and what it is, it's out there. The punishment of trying to learn about the Void Century is out there. The name of Joy Boy is out there. The true history of the world written on the poneglyphs is out there for the world to hear. It's out there. They're too late. They're too late. They failed. Let me say this again. They failed. They have failed. The Gorosei have failed. They could not stop the transmission before this name got out. They have failed. I'm happy. Woo! Okay. Okay, they are different people. I wasn't always sure if Sun God Nika and Joy Boy were two different people or the same person. I'm glad to finally get concrete confirmation. Whew. Yes, like the Sun God Nika. So Nika was first. And then we have Joy Boy, who continued on that legacy of Nika. The main character of this story was born into a kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization 900 years ago. Like the sun god Nika spoken of in Elbaf legend, he fought with a body that stretched and contracted. His name was Joy Boy, and he was the very first man on this sea to be called a pirate. Vegapunk. Let me say this. Let me say this. If we get a flashback, I know someone just said it. I think it was Ozzy who said flashback for Joy Boy. If we get a flashback, stop. This is already an amazing Mother's Day, and it's not my day to celebrate. It's my mom's. We're supposed to be going out to eat at 3, so I got to get the rest of these chapters reacted to. But this is some finger-licking good chapter today. What you mean? Vegapunk, he did it. I'm happy. I'm glad Oda let that message get through. Because let me just say this. Knowledge of the Void Century is forbidden. And now the whole world knows of the Void Century. You can't execute every single person on the planet. You're too late. I'm so happy! The Gorosei have tried. They thought that them just rolling up. They thought them rolling up was going to be more than enough for them to stop the message from happening. Not only have they failed, but their worst fear of knowledge of this true history of the world getting out there, it's already out. The knowledge, the Void Century is out there for all ears to hear. News groups all over, especially Morgans, who's listening in on this. Knowledge of the Void Century, just its existence, now known to the whole world. But let me go back to the beginning where he was talking about, we cut to so many different places. Marine HQ, Impel Down, Apolly and Water 7, the Ryugu Kingdom, Island Full of Lead, Alabasta, Alabarna, all these different places. We got to Island Full of Lead and Kuzan recovering after his fight with Garp. And what's crazy is when he was saying, as a result of that, the sea should rise about 1 meter around the world, rendering some islands uninhabitable. As he's saying this, a lot of places are in this one specific panel where Vegapunk is saying this, one place is already submerged in water and people are escaping from boats. Like their houses are submerged and people have escaped to the upper half of their houses in order to get out. This rain is coming down. Palm trees that are normally seen on land are just submerged now. And you can't even see the bottom of it while people are trying to escape. And this person is all like, huh, was that a prophecy? So some places are already going through becoming uninhabitable. It's already happening. And another thing he knows is that, the earthquake that happened? Yeah, I wouldn't exactly call it a natural phenomena. Which means that because of whatever structure destroyed Lelouja, has jump-started this. So Vegapunk is pretty much hinting to the world, we know what happened. We know what was used. Well, we don't know exactly, but we know something was used to destroy Lelouja, and that, of course, was because this caused the earthquake that started to jumpstart the world just steadily, filling up with water. Now, as you can see here clearly, many people don't even believe what's happening. Doflamingo has an inkling of what's going on because he's all like, what do you think? Should we all move to much higher ground? He's clearly referencing Marijois and the safety that Marijois and the entire Red Line signifies if the whole world gets submerged. Now you see the Gorosei, Mercury, Jupiter, Saturn, Nusjuro, and Mars. They're all flying around frantically, and then Vegapunk just lets it loose. We also see the Mother Flame. Saturn is destroying everything in his way, but he gets to the Mother Flame, and he starts smashing everything. He starts smashing everything that could possibly be living. And he's using his cane to destroy all this stuff. Not that one either. I forgot to say that line. It was just so small because I was taken aback by the vat of the Mother Flame itself. And the fact that the Mother Flame is what looks to be like a inextinguishable flame submerged in liquid. Fire and water, you don't see the fire continuing to exist even while completely submerged in water. Yet this flame is just in it, just floating in it, perpetually. And then the Iron Giant is steadily moving around. It's not being stopped. Luffy's back in Gear 5. Dory and Broggy are engulfed in flames a little bit. Vegapunk explains, allow me to explain just what it is that is happening to our world. From about 900 years ago to 800 years ago, a period of a century, there is a span of history that is completely and entirely blank. Now here's the thing. We get a side panel of Im silently listening to all of this. We don't get his expression, but we get Im's silhouette in a panel. He's listening to this whole thing. We call this the Void Century because all records from this time were eliminated. The only means to know this lost piece of history is to find a message from the past in the form of poneglyphs scattered across the world. We get Jaguar D. Saul, and we get someone else who's sitting there with him. Oh, wait. No, I'm wrong. I thought there was someone else, but it was really just zooming into Saul. No, it wasn't someone else. Hold on, I gotta correct myself, because the shape of this person is pretty much Saul listening, and then laying back on some logs. So not only that, but Saul appears to have been completely healed after his ordeal during the Ohata Buster Call. So, because he looks like he's back in his same old clothes he was wearing when he met Robin. He's just chilling, laying back on some big logs, and it's just Saul. It's not anyone else with him. I confused the small shadow to being someone else with Saul, but no, it's just Saul. It's just Saul. In the form of poneglyphs scattered across the world and decipher its contents. Then we cut to Orange Town. However, the world government has made it a crime of the highest order to decipher the message of the poneglyphs. And despite being a member of the government myself, I broke this law. That was my second sin. Through the sheer tenacity of a group of excellent archaeologists, referencing the Ohata scholars, I inherited some texts and a number of poneglyphs which I have deciphered, and continued studying to the best of my ability. I regret none of this. Edison going out of his way to put himself in harm's way in order to extend the lava phase clouds so that the Sunny and everyone else can get off into the ocean by extending it out past the island itself. In other words, what I know is an incomplete story of that 100-year void. It would be dishonest to fill the blanks with my own speculation, proud of him for doing that, not just filling it in with what he thinks will happen, but only knowledge. This is the reason why Vegapunk is a reliable theorist. So I will leave you with only the verified truth. The main character of this story was born into a kingdom with an impossibly advanced civilization 900 years ago. Like the sun god Nika, spoken of in Elbaf legend, he fought with a body that stretched and contracted. His name was Joy Boy, and he was the very first man on this sea to be called a pirate. Bruh, if we don't get like a Joy Boy flashback of any kind, and look at the Mother Flame, it's written A and Mu, which is what Im-sama refers to himself as. Mu. He refers to himself as Mu. So who is A? I'm curious what the Mother Flame actually looks like. We know so far it's a flame submerged in water in a massive tank of sorts, but I'm curious how it flies and stuff. Maybe there's a connection to Im. You're right, Koegan. It does say AMU. Mock Town, because everyone is mocking each other. Why I never put one and one together. No. You're fine. It's ironic that that place being called Mock Town. I just got the reference to the chapter and why it's called Wings of Icarus. Yeah. And the irony, the people of Mocktown are laughing because they think it's a joke. They've learned absolutely nothing from the Straw Hats' visit. No, they haven't. We see his arms and stuff are fine. I wonder if his face is marked by flames. If he is indeed the man marked by flames, I like how we don't see Saul's face. Not yet. We're not ready to see Saul's face yet. Ladies and gentlemen, put a fork in it. The Gorosei are done. The Gorosei are done. Now, the thing is, some people are all like, wait. They're saying, like, people are mocking Vega. Some people are mocking Vegapunk, thinking, why are you deciding to throw the entire world into chaos? Literally, the same thing that Roger did that jump-started the golden age of piracy. And now we have Vegapunk reigniting a massive, world-changing flame under itself, revealing the existence of a kingdom of an impossibly advanced civilization from 900 years ago, revealing the knowledge of the Void Century, revealing the name Sun God Nika, revealing the name Joy Boy, revealing that it's punishable by death by the world government to even explore the Void Century in any way. The Gorosei's worst fears have been realized. And here's the thing. I don't think Vegapunk is done talking. That's the scary thing. Vegapunk is not done talking. But it's 1:31. I gotta bring it to a close because I got My Hero Academia. I got My Hero Academia and I got Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I still need to be ready to go out to eat with the family because we're eating at 3. But we're going on break. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gorosei have failed, and Vegapunk is revealing so much knowledge. And we're going on break after this? Oda, how dare you? I'm kidding. I'm happy. I'm happy because it means that Vegapunk, some vital information has gotten out to the rest of the world. The Gorosei have pretty much failed at this point. Now, the thing that I'm thinking of is if Vegapunk ends the message by revealing the name of this civilization, it'll be 20-something years. I want to say it'll be close to about 20-something years of Professor Clover's attempt being fully redeemed, fully realized. But, yeah, man, what a chapter. Oh, what a magnificent chapter. I'm done, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think the sea levels rising has anything to do with the world government destroying islands. I think they're doing that to combat the rising sea levels. It could be seen that way, and as a way to get rid, it could be, and also could be used as an excuse to destroy any nations that rebel against them, so that could be seen that way. I think Luffy's dream is for the whole world to be free like a pirate. The sea levels rising would bring Luffy's dream as everyone takes to the sea. The world government wants the sea levels to stay the same so they can keep the control they have. They want to deal with just a bunch of free pirates rather than a world of free pirates that will also compete. Maybe. We'll have to see, Chrono. We'll have to see once we come out of break and where this story goes and how the Gorosei respond with all this knowledge just being broadcast to the entire world. Because like I said, you can't kill everybody. You can't kill everybody if you want to keep your secret and still keep the status quo at the same time. Because now, entire nations know of all this information now. This has been broadcast around the world. You can't just have CP0 just silently eliminate all these people in the hopes that this information doesn't get circulated around. Their whole thought of like, let me destroy this ship that has all these innocent civilians on it because they could possibly know the Void Century. Now the whole world knows. So what you gonna do now? CDs, what's going on? What happened today's, since I seen some leak of today's chapter, what you learned? I'm not telling you because you still haven't caught up. I'm not telling you because you haven't caught up yet. I'm kidding. Vegapunk has essentially revealed, letting you know, this is a spoiler warning for you. Vegapunk has basically revealed the existence of the Void Century, the penalty for researching the Void Century, the name Nika, and Joy Boy. And saying that Joy Boy was essentially the very first person set out to sea who would be the very first pirate. Joy Boy was the very first man on this sea to be called a pirate. Joy Boy is revealed to be the first pirate. But ladies and gentlemen, we are here and Vegapunk is just putting the whole Gorosei on blast. I can't wait to see more. I can't wait to see more. But we're going on break, so we're going to see what happens afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where I'm going to call it a close for right now. There's a week-long gap between island destroyed and sea levels rising for sensors to work. I mean, Vegapunk anticipated it, and he was right. He was completely right. But family also brought me a snack. Got to eat that. Then we got to do My Hero. Then we got to do Jujutsu. And I still need to have more than enough time in order for me to, go out and eat with the family. So you've been a wonderful audience. I got to call it a session. I got to call it here so I can do some other things and then do my last 2 reactions and then still go do everything else for Mother's Day. So I got to call it here. You've been wonderful. Thank you for your continued support. All my members, thank you. All my moderators, thank you. All my viewers, welcome if you're new, and I hope you enjoyed this entire reaction. But I'm looking forward to what Oda brings for the next chapter after this break. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later peoples. Joy Boy was the first pirate.